Hello, this is Digory Dae here with her first video in which I am speaking. I have done a lot of cover videos, I've done a lot of original music videos, and now it is the very first video in which I am speaking out of, I think it's been 3.5 years now that I've been doing this. And the main reason why I don't speak in my videos is because I don't want to. And the other reason is because I know some people like to listen to my music on playlists. And if I talk at the end, like say, oh, don't forget to subscribe and like and whatever, then it would ruin the atmosphere. So I'm just not speaking so that people can more comfortably listen to my cover songs usually and stuff like that. I know a lot of artists and cover artists like to do that. Oh, don't forget to subscribe. Oh, I have a new single out, stuff like that. But I'm lazy and I find it annoying when I'm watching people's videos when that pops up. So I'm just not doing it, even though it's better for publicity and marketing and whatnot. But I'm my own boss right now, so if I don't want to do it, then I don't do it. But anyway, I'll get to the point of what this video is about. So I decided I wanted to talk a little bit about my new EP that came out. Oh, now I'm gonna plug my own stuff. The EP is, of course, called Under the Sun. It is out on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, Deezer, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, all of the music streaming platforms, especially in the US. It's available on. So I'm gonna be talking about the EP and the whole process of creating it and producing it and everything. So on my Facebook page, which is Digory Dae, of course, if you want to check it out, I asked people to send in questions that they would like answered. So I have a few questions, but a lot of them were just general. So I'm not going to address them head on. I'm just going to talk about the album in general, and it will cover the question that was involved. So I am going to talk about first the overall aspect of the EP, and then according to each song I'm going to talk about the writing process, the recording / production process, the music video, and yeah, that's it. So first of all, EP Under the Sun, I did basically everything on my own except for some of the music videos. I wrote all of the lyrics and all of the music by myself, and I recorded it by myself in my house in Israel or here in South Korea where I am now, and I edited and produced everything myself. And I use the application I use for production is Audacity. It is a free recording and editing application. Basically, you can get it on your laptop, your computer. It's free, and from what I've heard from like actual musicians and professionals, no one uses Audacity to record because the quality is so bad. But fortunately, after releasing my EP, I've heard a lot of good things about my production quality, and even that it was better than I expected it to be. So that's good. So even though I used Audacity and I was worried about the production value, I guess it turned out alright, so I'm glad with that. So yeah, producing, I did everything by myself. The only advice, like, I know I should ask for advice more from other people, so this time I asked for my parents to listen to it and to tell me what they think, if I should raise the volume, effects or something. So they did do that, and they helped me out with that. So thank you, Mom and Dad. Probably the only people who are going to watch this video anyway. So I did that by myself, and then for the music videos, I had help with the main music video, which was Over and Over. My best friend, shout out to Israel Myers, he helped me film the music video, and he also helped me with the photos for the album cover and some promotional photos as well. So, but other than that, I edited the videos all by myself and filmed most of the other stuff by myself. Other than also the running music video, my boyfriend helped me with that. He filmed it, and afterwards I put everything together. What else? Oh, and my boyfriend also helped me with part of the outro music video. But other than that, it was basically all done by myself. And the distribution, how I did that was through a website called DistroKid. In June, before I was planning to release the album, the EP, I was looking up different websites for album distribution for indie artists and things like that. And I found a main article like comparing most of the main streaming sites, and they said that DistroKid is the best because they do what they're supposed to do and it's the best price. Most of the distributing websites, they will give you a certain fee for an album or a single, and then they'll also take a percentage of how much you make. But with DistroKid, you just give them a yearly amount. Like for me, I had a discount, so it was like $12 for this year. Usually it's around $19. And then you can release as much as you want for a whole year. And then the next year, if you wanted to continue to have your music on the websites, then you would have to pay again. But it's good if you want to release lots of things, lots of music, and they also don't take a cut of your work. So if like you just happen to make it big, and then you get to keep all the money for yourself, you don't have to give them a percentage. And obviously I am not being sponsored by DistroKid, but I would recommend it because so far my experience has been fine with them. Like I have had no complaints. Just uploaded the files for the music, just uploaded the file for the album cover, and uploaded the official lyrics files, and other than that I didn't have to do anything. I did not get to choose a release date, but you have an option to do that if you sign up for like a higher level of account. I have the base level, so I didn't get to choose the release date, but if you spend more money per year, you could pick your release date and you get more options to do things. But anyway, I was talking about that for longer than I expected. So now we will get into the album, the EP itself. I wanted to talk about the name and the idea behind the EP. So all of the songs on the EP are songs that I wrote in 2020 when I was living in Seoul, South Korea. I was studying Korean at the time. I still am, but this was last year. So I wrote all the songs last year, and blah, 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 blah. So I want to talk overall about the EP first. All of the songs I wrote last year in 2020 when I was living in Seoul, South Korea, and studying Korean. It was really the first time that I was living alone. And so in the album, the EP, I discussed a lot of my feelings of one, moving to a different country without anyone that I know, to living on my own, and just growing up and learning new things in general. So that was the overall idea of the album. I wasn't planning to make an EP at the time. I was just writing a few songs that showed my soul. And they all kind of had a connection, so I was like, okay, sure, yeah, let's do that. And throughout the songs, I talk about feelings, of course, and these feelings are not feelings that I felt only once last year. They're feelings that I've felt before, or maybe even many times, and feelings that I am sure that I'm going to feel in the future again. So that's why I chose the name Under the Sun. It is from a biblical scripture. There is no new thing under the sun, which basically just means that everything happens. It's happened before, it's going to happen again. People use it a lot of times to mean, like, don't think you're so special. There's no new thing under the sun. Like, everyone's done what you've done. Everyone's felt what you've felt. So, like, don't think too much about it. But that's why I chose that name, because there's no new thing under the sun. I'm telling a story and talking about feelings that I've felt before and feelings that I'm probably going to feel again. But I don't know. I just like the name as well. So I chose that name pretty early on. I tend to choose concepts or names or ideas first and then try to make individual pieces, which sometimes isn't good in the long run. Sometimes it turns out to be really cool stuff, and then sometimes I'm just like too much in my head trying to make interesting art. But so the first song I wrote was Running, and that song was just a one-off song that I wrote. I wasn't really planning to write it. I was just messing around with my ukulele, and I've been trying to be more creative instead of just like chords and strumming. I wanted to have some cool picking, so I was messing around with that melody, da dun dun da dun dun da dun dun, and the beginning part as well. And so when I was doing that, I just sing. That's how my thought process goes a lot, is if I'm playing something on the ukulele, I can either sing a melody without any lyrics, just like ba-da-ba, just come up with something, or I can even like right off the bat have lyrics and melody just come out, like, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes I have to change it a little. But that's how Running came to be. I wrote the first verse and the two choruses right off the bat. What I usually do is I have that sort of instant flow. And a lot of times I will forget whatever I wrote. So I've become accustomed to, like, I play it a few times and then I play it over and over and over again so I won't forget it. And then I will record it on my phone so that I really won't lose it, because, yeah, I've lost some songs before. Or not songs, just like melodies and things. So that's what I did there. And then I kind of took a break because I couldn't come up with the second verse. So I just put it aside and I was like, I don't want to stress too much about it. So I put it aside and I continued. And then a few days after that, I was riding the bus with one of my friends from my Korean course. Shout out to Raja. And that's when the second verse came to me. I was looking out the window of the bus, and well, I don't know if you know, but there's the line in the second verse: when I look out the window, I see someone different approaching. And that line, like the whole second verse, is not really anything specific. It's not about anything specific. It was just lines that I thought were cool. And after time passed, I was able to put my own meaning into the lyrics. I just thought it sounded cool at first, and then I was like, oh, this actually makes sense to me personally. So, like, I see someone different approaching. It's my chance to take their hand or let it go. So that part is meaning for me now. That part is about deciding to become the person you could be in the future. And you can either go for it or you cannot. And if you don't, then you stay where you were before. And then the second part of the verse is, well, if somebody's listening, then I guess that's all I need. But that part is also doesn't really mean anything at the beginning. But then I put in the meaning of like, oh, if somebody is listening to my music, just like one person, if somebody is listening, then that's all I need. I don't need thousands and billions of people. It's okay just to have a few people listening to my music. Obviously, it would be nice if there were a lot of people listening, but I know that doesn't happen for a lot of musicians and artists. So as long as I keep making music and keep expressing myself, that's all I need. That was the meaning. And then after writing the second verse, I took another break because I hadn't written the bridge, the end part yet. But I think it was another few days after that, I was hanging out with my friend, the same one as before, and their friend. We were out drinking. And I don't know why, but I drank too much. But I had school the next day, so I was planning to go home early on the train instead of like waiting way too late and then missing the train, the subway. But I was probably not well enough to take the subway, but I was very stubborn about it. I was walking, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take the subway, I can do it, I'm fine. And my friends were like, I don't know if that's a good idea. But I was thinking, oh, I don't have enough money to take the taxi, so either way, I need to take the subway anyway. But my acquaintance, my friend, she was really nice, and she gave me the fare, and she called over a taxi and made me get into the taxi and was like, yeah, you need to take the taxi. Listen to me. I don't care what's going on. And so she told the driver where to take me, and yeah, that was that. And then I felt really grateful to her because I might have been okay because Korea, Seoul is like pretty safe, but it's still not a great idea to be actively tipsy and going on the subway because I could just fall and kill myself while falling down the escalator. But so yeah, I felt really grateful, and after that situation I wrote the bridge where it's, as long as there are people who are kind, I figure everything will turn out fine. And then the last sentence, the last part of the bridge, is another one that doesn't make any sense. Like, it didn't mean anything, but I wrote it anyway, is, I see your little faces drawing near, now everything seems so crystal clear. And yeah, that one doesn't mean anything at first, but now when I sing it, I imagine my nephew because he has a little face because he's a child. But other than that, there isn't really any grander meaning behind it. I'm sure everyone could put their own spin on it, their own personal meaning, but I didn't have anything specific. So that's that. Now about production. Well, I recorded the song in Israel while I was home. I was in Israel from November 2020 till May 2021, and I started recording the last session because I tried recording several times. I started recording for the EP, I think it was in January? I don't remember because I just remember being like, I have to finish this before I go back to Korea. But I'm not sure exactly. But because I was recording it, obviously I could add many more elements than when I'm performing it live. When I sing the song live, I just do the ukulele and I do my singing. But while I was recording, I also made a trumpet melody that I really like. So now when I sing it live, I add that as well. And with the choruses, I was able to add more ukulele strumming. And I was able to add harmonies, which, if you know me personally, you know I love harmonies. So I was really glad to be able to add all of that. And I heard from my parents that is the song that sounds the most well done, like fleshed out, like it has bones to it, like, or roots to it, I guess you would say. And that was the song that I've been working on the longest, so I can understand why they said that. For the music video I recorded last year in 2020 when I was in Korea. My boyfriend and I went on vacation to a different city, and it was a really pretty city. They had a lot of different greenery, like we went to different parks and a maze and everything. So while we were there, I was like, oh, well, boyfriend, can you shoot some videos of me and maybe I can use it for a video later? I just wrote this song running. So he did that. Like, he isn't a very big phone person. Like, he doesn't take a lot of photos and videos and do a lot of social media, but he was like, yeah, sure. So we were filming the video, and as soon as we got home back to Seoul, I had put the running music video together because I had thought at the time that I would be able to record it much sooner and put it out much sooner. So I had the running music video ready since May 2020, and I released it finally in July 2021. So I was really glad to finally release it. I had to change a few things with the timing with the video because my original demo was faster. Sometimes I played the strumming faster, sometimes slower. So it was different than my final cut. So I had to change it. But I still think it's cute. So yeah. Alright, the next song I wrote was Over and Over. And actually, you know the intro as well. So, the intro, you know, and Over and Over were originally one song that I wrote. The same scenario of me messing around with stuff, with strumming, and this time I was messing around with where I should put the capo. Because usually I just play without a capo, and it's not very inspired in my opinion. So I was trying to be more artistic and more experimental. So I put the capo on the 3rd fret. Oh my gosh. And I was just playing with stuff. And so that's how the instrumental part of the intro was written, and then the instrumental part of Over and Over was written. And I had them originally as one song, so the instrumental part from intro would go directly into the instrumental of Over and Over. But then the song would be like 7 minutes long, and I thought that people wouldn't want to listen to that. They would get bored and skip it or just not even bother. So I split it into 2 parts, and thus I could have a nice intro and outro in the EP, which I like to do. So it worked out for the best. So if you notice, the BPM and the key for both songs is the same. So that's why. And I wanted to continue to have it to kind of like flow one into the other. I wrote these ones, I think it would have been August of 2020, because the inspiration for Over and Over was actually my pal, who I've shouted out a couple times. He went back to his home country, and I was not prepared for it emotionally. So I wrote this dramatic song. Well, him leaving kind of, I wouldn't say triggered because that's such a strong word these days, but it reminded me of a lot of different things, especially my history of my family and in my personal life, of people leaving and me leaving people that it turns out. So I was kind of just like thinking, and that's how this song came into being. And the Over and Over kind of goes along with the Under the Sun theme of like things keep happening. People are always going to leave. You are always going to leave people. You can't fight it. You should accept it. That kind of thing. Yeah. So it's not an easy thing to accept, and I should know because I've struggled with it a lot. But I'm trying to do so. There are a lot of strong words in this song. I feel of the songs that I've released, okay, I have a song called Fucking. So I guess it's not the strongest song that I've released, but it's one of them. And when I was writing the lyrics, I thought I was being clever. I thought I was being mysterious and like, oh, no one's gonna understand what I'm talking about. But after the EP release, I was talking with my parents, and it turns out that everyone who's listened to it basically knows exactly what I'm talking about, and they have their own opinions about it, of course. I won't share those opinions here because that's for us, our private ears. But I thought that was interesting because I thought I was being sneaky. I thought, oh, maybe some people will understand, but no one's gonna get it. But everyone got it, so shout out to everyone who got it. So yeah, I don't know if I can think of a specific lyric to talk about that isn't going to be way too personal, so I'm not gonna get into specifics. It's just over and over, you know, it just keeps happening. What else should I talk about? Oh, we had the recording. When I first wrote Over and Over and the intro, I wasn't just experimenting with the capo. I was also experimenting with an effect machine. Oh, it's right here. It's called Voice Live Play. DC Helicon. Oh, it belongs to my boyfriend, and I was messing around with the different effects that it has, and I found the really cool echo one that I even use in the album, in the EP. So when I first wrote it, I was using that, but that stayed in Korea. So when I went to Israel and I was trying to record, I tried to recreate the same echo and all the effects and everything, but I did not like it. So I decided to just stop worrying about it. I was like, I'm stressing too much about it. I'll just wait till I go back to Korea and I will use the effect voice live play thing again. So that's what I did. But when I was doing that, I was using a different microphone, and the feedback and everything is different with that. So that's why the intro and over may sound a little different. Also because of the echo effect, the reverb, and also because of the microphone. And with the microphone, I also had trouble with pop, because I don't have a pop filter. So I had to re-record the same lines so many times by making sure I don't have too much air because of the pop filter. No pop filter. It was so annoying. But I recorded it when I was in quarantine, actually, after I came back to Korea. So it was a good thing to be able to do and spend my time on. Other than that, I mean, ideally, I wanted to not just have ukulele and my voice in that song. I wanted to have drums. I wanted to have electric guitar, or my ideal would be to have string, like an string orchestra come in with high notes. And in the second verse, when it becomes faster. But I don't have access to those instruments. I don't know how to play those instruments. So I just did what I know how to do, and I released it like that. Maybe someday I'll be able to release Digory Dae's ideal version of Over and Over and have like this insane musical orchestra and like have all these different things. But for now, it is not going to happen. And now I'll talk about the music video. The music video is the biggest project I've worked on. Regarding videos, of course. I had been trying to think of what to do for the music video. I knew that I wanted it to be theatrical compared to my other music videos. This one has a plot, and it's not just me and my friends acting naturally. I'm kind of acting, and I had to be serious, and I had to be all these things. And originally, my best friend, shout out to Israel again, had suggested that we do a photo shoot, and I needed photos for my album cover, and I knew in my head for the album cover I wanted me sitting, preferably in the desert, and the light above me, because I'm under the sun. So we agreed to do that, and then I was like, oh, we're already gonna be out in the desert. Well, why don't we film a music video? So I started to write the plot line and frame by frame, scene by scene guide for how we're gonna shoot everything. Because when I get into a project, I get into it. And I've always wanted to film a music video like this. I've always wanted to do like a web drama or something. So I was super excited to be able to film the music video, and I was super serious about it. And I was like, I wanted it to be good, of course. So I wrote everything down. I got the props. I was thinking about the wardrobe. Surprisingly, the wardrobe was the hardest thing for me to decide on, and I didn't decide until like 10 minutes before we were supposed to leave. And yeah, so when we got to the desert, first we did the photo shoot, and then we started to do the filming for the music video. And originally in the script, there were some additional scenes, but because of time and because of where we were, we weren't able to film everything. Which in the long run, if we had tried to do everything, I think we would have like died of dehydration for sure. Because I did get dehydrated. I did not take enough water. I did not take proper snacks. And I did get dehydrated afterwards and burnt. And yeah, but it was fun. No regrets. Yeah, it was a good experience. I'm glad I did it. And I think for the camera, the equipment that we used, the time that we had, and the experience that we had, and the video editor that I use, I think it turned out quite well. I also use a free video editor, and I'm sure if I told professionals what I was using, they would laugh at me in that regard as well. So it turned out well. And with this music video as well, I edited it all and I put it all together and I uploaded it and did everything by myself. Okay, what is the next song we have? The next one I wrote was the outro. The next song. So with the outro as well, I was just experimenting. Maybe I should call this EP an experimental EP because literally every song, except for one, I was not meaning to write a song really. So the outro I created while I was thinking, hey, how many songs are there that have Hebrew and Korean? Probably only worship songs, and probably not that many. So I could be the first one. Wow. And I wanted to see how it would sound as well, because Korean and Hebrew are different, but I would say that they're more similar than English and Hebrew and English and Korean. I think they're the sounds kind of. But so I wrote the song while I was in the bathroom. I was probably doing a face mask, mud mask, before I was showering, and I just sang it. 시간이 없다고 생각했어. 시간이 없다면 어떡하죠? 이미 없으면이 seguido 그무반 chercher por. It was just that, like, I sang it. I sang the first lines in Korean straight off the bat, maybe paused a minute thinking about what I should sing in Hebrew, and then sang it. It was just like that. This sounds so simple. Like, yeah, I'm so good at writing songs. I just thought of it right away. But that's how it was. I don't know what else to say. And again, there isn't too much meaning to it. Other than the first line, 시간이 없다고 생각했어. I don't remember exactly, but I do remember thinking, oh, I'm out of time. Like, oh, I don't have a lot of time to do something. It could have been like, oh, soon I'm going back to Israel. I'm running out of time, that kind of thing. But yeah, they didn't have like too much meaning. But of course, now I put my own meaning into it. And so actually I can translate the lyrics for you because I don't know how many people know both of the languages. So the first line is 시간이 없다고 생각했어. I thought there is no time. Or we're running out of time, I thought. We can change the meaning a bit. 시간이 없다면 어떡하죠? if we're running out of time, what do we do? אם ירצו, מי אני שאגיד לא? If they want, who am I to say no? כמובן שאשאר פה, כמובן שאשאר פה. Of course I will stay here. Of course I will stay here. So that's that. And for production, recording, I knew I wanted it to be a cappella because that's how I wrote it. And it's such a short song, I don't know how I would do the instrumental. But when I started recording it, I started messing around with different effects and like looping and like, oh, what if I did this and I made it more like spacey and like ooh, whatever. But in the end, I was like, nah, I'll just make it simple. I'll just leave it how it was. And so I just have it now. It's just a cappella, just straight up my voice, and that's that. With the music video, it is split into 2 parts. And my aunt gave me that idea because she was telling me before, after I'd already written the song, she said like, oh, you should make a song in English, you should make a song in Hebrew and Korean. And I said, well, I already did. And she said, oh, well, you could make a cool video for your YouTube channel. You could have like half of it here while you're in Israel, and then when you go back to Korea, you can film half of it there, and I'm sure it'll be interesting for people to see. So I kind of took my own liberties with that idea, but the first part of the song, in which the lyrics are in Korean, I filmed with my family in Israel. We were out for brunch. I think maybe it was Mother's Day. Yeah, I think it was Mother's Day. And after we had eaten, we were walking around. So I was like, hey guys, let's take a video. And I knew at the time that I should be making videos for this music video, but I wasn't sure I was going to have that in the final cut. But I was like, yeah, I'll take a video and I'll have lots of different options to choose from, all of that. And my mom thought I was taking a photo, so that's why she's like posing. And no one else knew what was happening because I don't generally take a lot of videos or photos when my family's around. So they're just kind of like, oh, okay. And in the end, I didn't have any other clips from Israel for me to put in the music video, so I had to choose that one. But I also thought that the airplane that my dad throws is like so metaphorical for me traveling and going to Korea and, you know, all that jazz. So then it goes into the next clip, which my boyfriend took when it was my birthday. But actually, it wasn't on my birthday. We had taken a video on my actual birthday that looks almost exactly the same, and it was also a natural candid shot of me blowing out my actual birthday candles on my actual birthday. But my boyfriend had filmed it at a weird angle, and I couldn't flip it. So when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, this is such a cool video. I should use this for the music video. And I was trying to edit it and trying to flip it, but I could not. It was impossible. So I was like, hey, would you mind if we tried to film it again? Because I really like the concept, but it's just not working out. So he's like, yeah, sure. So I had an ice cream cake. So we got like the remaining slices of the ice cream cake, and I made them like look proper. And put the same candles back on the cake. And in the first video that we filmed, my hamster Parmesan was rolling around in his ball in the background. So we put him back in the ball and we're like, stay over there so we can see you. And but we had to take several shots of the redo clip for the final one, and you can't really even see Parmesan in the background, But if you do, if you watch the video again, like, keep your eye out for it. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny, and I'm thankful to my boyfriend for being a good spirit, a good pal. I don't know. I'm thankful to my boyfriend for helping me out, being willing to do that. So, thank you. So the last song we get to talk about is, of course, We're Always. We're always together, together. We're Always was the last song that I wrote on the EP. And the reason for that is, I don't know if you've noticed, but if you take all of the titles in order of the track list, titles of the songs, and read them out loud, you get a sentence. Wow. So it goes, over and over, we're always running out of time. Under the sun. You can add that as well. Isn't that cool? So what had happened was I wrote running and I wrote over and over. And then I was like, oh, running over and over. That sounds cool. That sounds like a phrase or maybe a sentence I could complete. So then I was trying to make a puzzle, basically. For a few days I was writing down other titles that I could use, and, switching over and over, running over and over, under the sun, all these things. And I finally came up with We're Always. And for the track list, I wanted it to start with over and over because it is more of a depressing song. And I wanted it to end with running because it's more of a hopeful song. I wanted to go from the dark and end in the light so that people will feel better about themselves and not worse. So We're Always kind of was put in the middle because of that reason. So I had the name We're Always. That was it. I didn't have an idea. I didn't have any lyrics. I didn't have a song. I just had We're Always. So then I had to come up with a concept. So I was thinking, we're always what? Or what are we always doing? And I didn't want it to be depressing again because we had over and over. I wanted a different vibe for the song. So I couldn't choose like we're always dying. We're always losing our minds. So I was like, we're always together. And when I had that line, we're always together, I knew immediately that I had to write the song about my best friend, the same one who helped me film the over and over video. So then I had We're Always Together. I knew that it had to be happy because my best friend deserves to have a happy song written about him, not a sad, depressing one. And so I was really, the first thing I focused on was the lyrics and the melody. So I had those first. And when that happens, usually the chords are wonky. Because when I write the chords first, then it's easier for me to play, and then I make the melody afterwards. But now I had the melody, so I had to write the chords to match the melody I already had. And that's why the chords for this song are a lot different than what I played before. So I wrote the lyrics. Usually what I do is the first verse and the choruses I write at the same time. Then after that I write the second verse. And actually with the bridge, it's a part that I wrote for a different song. It's just like a random line that I thought was cool. And I thought, okay, well, this, if I change the key, if I change the melody a little, I can get it to work for this song. And those lyrics, because I had written them separately, are kind of like my favorite ones because it, I don't know, I just like them. We're not dolls. We don't get dirtier the more that we're loved. We might fall, but we're always there to pick each other up. Whoa. So yeah, I like especially the we're not dolls. We don't get dirtier the more that we're loved. I don't remember exactly what inspired that, but I have a lot of stuffed animals. And only recently I learned you can wash them. So they were dirty. So that's like the main inspiration is like there are lots of things that grow dirtier over time, especially if we use them a lot because we love them. Like clothes, they will get worn out. And dolls and toys, they get dirtier the more that you play with them. But humans, they do not because we are humans. And it's important for people to remember that a lot of times. They think that they're damaged goods or they're dirtier because they've dated more people or they've done certain things in their lives. But no, we're humans. We're not dolls. We're not objects. We're all just us. So that's the inspiration for that line especially. And the other lines is just I wanted it to sound like a song that you can listen to while you're driving in your car, you're vibing. And my best friend and I had originally wanted to move to New York City together and become stars. So I started off with let's go to the city and never look back. I have a feeling we'll fall flat on our ass because everyone knows New York City is garbage and you're not going to succeed. You're just going to be poor. So that was that. It's like, yeah, that's what we said we do. And as long as you're there, I'm fine with failing. So let's just do it. And then the song continues on that sort of like, let's go for it. Let's do it. Let's follow our dreams, even though we're scared. And we may be different and we have our own problems, but we're always together. Yeah. Yeehaw. Oh, yeah. I wrote this song last, and don't get me wrong, I like it because I wrote it for my best friend. But because it's a happier song and I'm not used to writing happy songs, I feel like I didn't do very well, especially with musically. The lyrics I like, but musically I don't like it as much as the other songs. But fortunately, I've got a lot of good feedback about it. A lot of people have told me that that's actually their favorite song of the EP. The other ones are kind of... But, yeah, so I'm glad to have that feedback. I had to pause because my camera ran out of memory. But anyway, so I'm glad people like We're Always. And that's great. For the production, I recorded it in Israel. And the art, there isn't really much to tell other than some instruments and details that I added. Like, I was able to add the tambourine and trumpet stuff and harmonies, of course. Da 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 da. I like that part a lot of the song, actually, and the trumpet. It was a hard song to record comparatively to Running. Running was easy to record, but this one was hard because of, again, the pop filter. So we have We're Always, and you can hear we're always with the ways. There is an annoying air sound. So I had to record many times and learn exactly how to sing it. Like, no space for error so that there wouldn't be a loud sound and annoy people's ears. So that was very irritating. But other than that, it was okay. It was okay to record. Now for the music video, it's made out of clips that I filmed when I was hanging out with my pals, with my BFFs. The last couple months I was in Israel. We went out a few times on little adventures, and so that's when I filmed that stuff. Yeah, and you can see that they're a bit awkward because I didn't tell them what I was doing. I don't normally film things like that, like I mentioned, when I'm out with my friends or my family, so they're like, what's going on? And but I think it turned out pretty funny. Like, the music video and all turned out well, and their faces are funny, so that's good. I didn't tell them beforehand about the music video. And for the song, I had mentioned to my best friend, and I had given him some like teasers about the song. But he also didn't really know exactly what it was about, and they didn't know about the music video. And I didn't get the permission to post it with their faces on it, but they haven't said anything about it. So I guess they like it. Or at the very least, they haven't begged me to take it down. So that's good. Yeah, that is all I have to say, really. I don't know what else there could be said. After this video is released, maybe there's more things you want to know about the EP. So if you do, you can leave a comment. Oh, here I go, guys. You could leave a comment talking about if you have a specific question, like about a specific lyric or anything like that. I can't think of what you guys would be curious about. I cannot give you advice about recording or anything because I don't feel like I'm that good at it. But and subscribe and like the video if you liked it, and send it to people because I'm sure everyone wants to see it. And what else? Listen to the EP Under the Sun. You should definitely do that. That's number one. You gotta listen to it. It's for free on YouTube. I will put a link below, and you guys can listen to the EP on YouTube. And if you want to support me, the best way to do that would be listening to it on Spotify or iTunes or Apple Music, because then I get like a penny every time you stream it. So that would be even better. I also started doing live streams on this app called Sessions Live. There you could find my account, you can see when I do my live streams, and you could send me these things called love, which is like coins. It's like a currency there, and for every 10 love, I think it's like a penny. Someone sent me 250, and then I got $2.50. I'm not good at math, but I'm guessing. I'm really not. But yeah, so I'll also leave a link to that in the description. Oh, and you can also leave a comment about another song that you want me to cover, because I need ideas. I have some coming up soon, so look forward to those. But yeah, thank you for listening and watching me. Am I doing a podcast, basically? I don't have anything here. Green screen. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'll leave you a little present at the very end of the video, so look forward to that. Oh, have a good day, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to end these. Bye-bye. So here's the gift at the end of the video. It's Parmesan. Let's see if I can get the focus right. Parmesan. It's not on autofocus. Parmesan. So don't forget to subscribe and like the video and give Parmesan lots of love. Whee! Yay!